G'day everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Cody and today I will be doing the 2022 NRL season review of the New Zealand Warriors. The Warriors finished in 15th place this year, playing a total of 24 games, scoring 14 points with 6 wins and 18 losses. The Warriors scored a total of 408 points in the regular season while conceding 700 points in the 2022 season with a points differential of negative 292. The Warriors' home record was 5 wins and 7 losses, while their away record was 1 win and 11 losses, and in their last 5 games between rounds 21 and 25 they managed to win 1 game. Round 1 for the Warriors started off with a loss as they lost to the Dragons at Sunshine Coast Stadium, losing 28-16 to the Dragons, before in round 2 losing another close game to the Gold Coast Titans at Seabus Super Stadium, losing 20-18, before going on to win their next 3 games in a row between rounds 3 and 5, beating the West Tigers in round 3, 16-12 at Campbelltown Sports Stadium, before beating the Brisbane Broncos at Moreton Daily Stadium, winning 20 points to 6 in round 4, before beating the Cowboys by 1 point, 25-24 in round 5 at Moreton Daily Stadium. The Warriors will go on to lose their next 2 in a row in round 6, losing to the Roosters at the SCG, losing 22-14, before getting hammered by the Melbourne Storm at Amy Park in round 7 on the annual Anzac Clash, losing 70-10, before bouncing back to beat the Canberra Raiders by 1 point, 21-20 at Moreton Daily Stadium in round 8. The Warriors will go on to lose their next 7 games in a row, starting off with a loss against the Cronulla Sharks, losing 29-10 at PointsBet Stadium in round 9. In round 10, they will go on to lose against the Rabbitohs by 2 points, 32-30, after coming back for almost beating the Rabbits at Magic Ground. In round 11, they will lose to the St George Illawarra Dragons, again, this time losing 24-18 at Nostrada Jubilee Stadium. In round 12, at Moreton Daily Stadium, they will lose to the Newcastle Knights 24-16. In round 13, they will get demolished by the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles, losing 44-12 at 4 Pines Park, before getting beaten by 22 points against the Sharks, losing 38-16 in round 14 at Moreton Daily Stadium. And then in their final game at Moreton Daily Stadium, or known as KO Stadium now, losing to the Penrith Panthers 40 points to 6. Round 16, homecoming. For the first time since 2019, the Warriors have been in Australia for 3 years due to COVID lockdowns and all that. They have returned to Mount Smart Stadium for the first time since 2019. In round 16, they will beat the West Tigers 22 points to 2. Round 17 was a bye. In round 18, they'll go on to lose against the Eels, losing 28-18 at CommBank Stadium, before losing to the Raiders, this time 26-14 at GIO Stadium. In round 20, back at Mount Smart Stadium for the second time, lose to the Melbourne Storm in a competitive game, only losing by 12 points, 24-12, before getting demolished by the South Sydney Rabbitohs, this time 48-10 at Sunshine Coast Stadium, before going on to win one more game in New Zealand at Mount Smart Stadium, winning 42-18 against the Bulldogs. In round 23, they'll get flogged by the New Zealand Warriors, losing 48 points to 4 at Queensland Country Bank Stadium, before losing to the Penrith Panthers 46-12 in round 24 at Bluebet Stadium, not PointsBet, and in their final home game at Mount Smart Stadium, losing to the Gold Coast Titans by 1 point, 27-26. Now, going through the Warriors' best wins for the season, unfortunately there was only 6 wins they managed to get this year, but a few notable of them was upsetting both the Broncos and the Cowboys, winning 20 points to 6 in round 4, and round 5 beating the Cowboys 25-24. And I believe 2 of their best wins of the season. First one against the Bulldogs in round 22, where they beat them at Mount Smart Stadium 42-18. It was their second win back at Mount Smart since 2019, or round 16, a couple of weeks before. But definitely their best win of the year was against the Tigers in round 16, as they were welcomed back to Mount Smart Stadium for the first time since 2019, winning 22-2. I reckon that was their best game of the year, most definitely. Now going over some of the Warriors' worst losses for the season. Their worst loss of the season by 60 points, definitely their worst, against Melbourne on Anzac Day, 70 points to 10. Round 21 against the Rabbitohs, 48-10. That's an unbelievable score. Rounds 23 and 24. Round 23 against the Cowboys, 48-4, and 46-12 against the Panthers in round 24. Or round 23 for the Cowboys game, sorry. Yeah, that was definitely some of their worst games, but the one against Melbourne in round 7 at Amy Park, that was their worst. The top point scorer for the Warriors in 2022 went to Reece Walsh, scoring 104 points. The Warriors' top try scorer for this year went to Dalian Wisner Ceciliak, sorry if I butchered that name wrong, with 9 tries. Going through the Warriors' signings as of the 19th of December 2022, as of this stage, the Warriors have signed 9 players across their first grade and reserve grade, I'm guessing. And the 9 players signed to the Warriors from next year onwards are Mitch Barnett from the Newcastle Knights, Jackson Ford from the St George Illawarra Dragons, Tadare Martin from the Brisbane Broncos, Luke Metcalf from the Cronulla Sharks, Charnel Nicole Colstack from the Canberra Raiders, Morara Nikora from the Parramatta Eels, Tane Tuli Piki from the Burleigh Bears, Dylan Walker from the Manly Warringah Seagulls, and Braden Wilkme from the USA Parangeni Rugby Union side. And the players that have gone to other clubs released. No, there's no retirements here, so we'll go through them. So first up, Ewan Aiken to the Dolphins, along with Jackson Free to the Dolphins as well. Jesse Arthur's returned to the Broncos from the loan. Dejara Assi to the Parramatta Eels. Leighton Finol released. Channel Harris Davida has gone on hiatus. We don't know when he will be returning. Maybe not, who knows. Elise Katoa to the Melbourne Storm. Denumas Louis, who has been released. Jack Murchie to the Parramatta Eels. Aaron Panay to the Melbourne Storm. Pride Pedersen Rabada released. Junior Ravada released. Garrett Smith released. And Reece Walsh to the Brisbane Broncos. Before going over the Warriors overview for the season, they did struggle heaps throughout 2022, and at least the good thing is they did return to New Zealand, back to Mount Smart Stadium finally this year, and they're playing all their home games with the exception of Magic Ground home game, which is neutral, all in New Zealand next year, and they got additional games in New Zealand. They got additional away games in New Zealand as well. I believe they got 2. There's one against the Tigers. Don't know who the other team is. But overall, the players for this year, for what they've done for the last 3 seasons, whether they've signed with the Warriors to play in New Zealand or they've gone to other clubs, we have to give them a huge congratulations for making this huge sacrifice for the last 3.5 seasons they've been in Australia. But as they're returning back to New Zealand, they'll get comfortable, and I reckon they could become a better side. But some of the better players of 2022, there weren't many for the Warriors. Like Reece Walsh was okay. He's gone back to the Brisbane Broncos, which I think he'll do better. Have to give it to Edward Cosey. Edward Cosey scoring 3 tries in one game against the Melbourne Storm. He was pretty much his best player, along with Daniel Williams-Tistia, or DWZ for short. But they were both of their main players throughout 2022. Fanua Blake was definitely one of their better players as well when he was playing. When he wasn't playing injured. Now Sean Johnson, who signed from 2022, I think he's doing okay, but he's getting old, and I think he's Sean Johnson should have just retired after leaving the Cronulla Sharks. Oh, not the Cronulla Sharks. And yeah, and along with Jazz Tavita and Bailey Seranon, they all played very well this year. Congratulations to the Warriors for going back to New Zealand, though, at least. But overall, with the Warriors' 2022 season, even though they sacrificed and all that, they did play awful this year. So I'll give them a 3.5 out of 10. Now, I know it'd be a bit harsh because they've been over in Australia for the last couple of seasons. But I mean, they've done okay for the 3 seasons that, other than this year, they've been alright for 2020 and 2021. It's not the Warriors' fault. They didn't play well. They played well at times, but it wasn't their fault for not playing well because they were away from New Zealand. Because New Zealand and Australia had all the strict lockdowns and all that. But for at least for next year, they will rebound. I reckon they're not going to make the top 8. But they could be a dark horse. They're unpredictable, the Warriors, but they could be a dark horse for 2023. I will be surprised if they do make the 8, but I reckon they should be from about like 11th to 14th, or probably a top bottom 4 side, like in 14th. Excuse me, but they will improve next year, at least, especially being back in New Zealand. At least at this stage, as long as there's no more lockdowns. But anyways, this will come towards the end of the video of reviewing the New Zealand Warriors. Overall, they had an awful season, finished in second last, avoided the wooden spoon on multiple occasions, but being back in New Zealand was their main achievement this year, and they've got to be very proud of going back. But we'll just see how they are in 2023. I got good expectations. They've got a good squad that can be a top 8 side, but they just got to prove it by beating at least some of the top 8 sides. Well, more definitely the top 4 sides. But anyways, everyone, this will come towards the end of the video. Now I will be doing my final NRL season review team, which is the Penrith Panthers, tomorrow or Wednesday. As from Thursday onwards, I will be going on a bit of a break to celebrate Christmas with my family, and there will be one more video I will be releasing in 2022, which won't be until after Boxing Day, which might be just before New Year's. But we'll just wait. I'm not going to say what it is. You'll find out. I did a video last year about it, and I enjoyed making it. But we'll wait and see. But anyways, everyone, I'll see you in the next video. Next team is obviously the Penrith Panthers. I've done all the bottom 8 sides. Just got to do the top team next for tomorrow or Wednesday. But anyways, this is Cody signing out, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.